Choosing a character class. What do you need to know? First off, Path of Exile is not like most other ARPGs where the character determines your skills or what weapons you get to use. Many people may tell you that any class can do anything in the game, and whilst technically true, it's also not right. Doing everything means doing it well, and your witch using ground slam will never be as good as a Marauder ground slamming. She just doesn't have the strength available to her. That is why a basic understanding of the makeup of the skill tree is required to understand the best classes to use. Which leads me nicely onto attributes. There are 3 different attributes in the game, and these will determine the weapons and skill gems you can use. They also give you 2 other things. Strength is found in the highest concentrations on the bottom left of the tree. As you move away, the amount of strength nodes gets more scarce. That's also true for life and melee damage nodes. Every 2 points of strength grants 1 maximum life, get 5 and it grants 1% increased melee damage. This means that the character closer to the bottom left of the tree will be better at melee skills and will have more life. They will also have more heavy 2-handed weapon nodes like swords and shields and will favour armour. The Marauder is located here and you will not find a better life based tank in the game. The bottom right of the tree is the Dexterity area, and this grants 2 accuracy per 2 and 1% increased evasion per 5. You're also going to find a lot of bow, projectile and poison nodes. This is the home of the Ranger, and she's great with bows. Between these 2 is the Duelist, a hybrid between strength and dexterity. This will be better at tanking than the Ranger, but also more evasive than the Marauder. They also start with a good mix of strength and dexterity, meaning they are more suited for red or green skills in the early game. The top of the tree is the Realm of Intelligence and the home of the Witch. Every 2 intelligence grants 1 mana, and 5 will get you 1% increased energy shield, which is a protective layer to help those with small life pools stay alive. The Witch needs this more than most because of the scarcity of the life nodes in the top middle of the tree. To the left of the Witch you'll find the Templar, a character suited for both spellcasting and melee or a combination of the 2 in some cases. To the right of the Witch we have the Shadow, a hybrid magic and agility character specialising in claws, daggers or even traps and mines. In the middle of the tree you'll find the Scion starting area, but we're not going to talk about her in this video because she's more challenging to deal with and you also don't get access to her until you get to the end of Act 3. Now if the video ended here your choices would be a lot more clear, but it doesn't. Each of the classes has 3 unique Ascendancies, and these grant powerful passive skills that you can pick up periodically as you level, and they really can change what your character can do and how it plays. First let's talk about the Marauder, and its first Ascendancy is the Juggernaut, offering possibly the best tank in the whole game and with the right skills a ton of damage. Second up, the Chieftain, a master of fire or totems, or even fire totems. And lastly the Berserker, a powerful Ascendancy that specialises in rage for faster and more damaging attacks, also higher movement speed. He also has the option to take 10% increased damage to gain a whopping 40% more damage. This can lead to a maniac axe-wielding glass cannon if built wrong. The Templar can ascend into the Hierophant, specialising in totems or brands with some interesting mana tanking and some always-on defensive and offensive charges. Next up, the Inquisitor. This is a good all-rounder with good elemental offences and defences. As well, it's the only Ascendancy in the game to get 30% more attack damage if you use a mixture of spells and attacks, although this can be really finicky to pull off. Next up, the Guardian, who is decent with minions and has good defences, including against curses. Onto the Witch now, and the first Ascendancy is the Cultist. This has cold and chaos damage buffs and an extra curse to boot. She also has some great buffs to energy shield recharge. If this doesn't float your boat, then you can go with Elementalist for golem base builds or all out elemental destruction. On top of this, she can select a powerful defensive shield against elemental damage. It also prevents monsters reflecting elemental damage onto her. And last but by no means least, the Necromancer. This is great for powerful minion builds or anything that deals damage with corpses. Yeah, that's a thing. Over to the Shadow now, and we have the Assassin, an expert dealing critical strikes and applying poison. Next up, the Trickster. This offers some amazing defences built around energy shield and was my favourite Ascendancy from last league. And next, a wonderful Ascendancy built around traps and mines, the Saboteur. A master of damage with both traps and mines, but also some amazing shock and ignite immunity along with some great quality of life. Down the tree now to the Ranger, and the first Ascendancy is Deadeye with powerful movement speed buffs and some nice modifiers to projectile skills. Next, the Pathfinder. She is a master of poisons and gets amazing buffs for using flasks. Then the Raider, who can get strong movement and attack speed buffs as well as the ability to run through enemies, whilst doing so making them weak to elemental damage while trying to avoid incoming elemental ailments. We now have my favourite character class of all, the Duelist. First up, the Gladiator, with amazing buffs to bleeds, including making your enemies explode. Also some strong block buffs. The champion is a really defensive option and is also a master of Impale. And then there was one, the Slayer. This one is a master of leech, able to gain a huge amount of defences by dealing damage to his enemies. So which one should you go with? I think the Witch is probably going to be the best for complete beginners. Although, as I mentioned in my previous video, if you're new to the game, follow someone's build guide. This has the bonus of telling you exactly which class to go and which Ascendancy points to pick first. I do this from time to time too to learn new game mechanics that I'm not familiar with. This game has so many layers of mechanics it's impossible to know all of them. But getting this deep into the video, the bonus tip: remap the left mouse button at the start of the game from attack to move only. It may just keep you alive. And to watch the next video in this series, check out the video top left, which will teach you all about skill gems, supports and links. All of which will open up the huge amount of diversity this game has to offer. Don't miss out, click now. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.